Welcome to the Power Lunch live on LinkedIn. I'm Rhett Power, I'm your host, and I'm going to be doing this program, as you know, hopefully every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday around 12 noon Eastern Standard Time on LinkedIn's new live platform. I will be talking to today's thought leaders, CEOs, influencers, people who are doing good things in the world and who we can learn from. That is the whole point of the show. The fun part is that it can be interactive if you ask questions. So ask your questions. John and I are going to be here to answer those if we can. And certainly if we don't get to the questions on the show, we'll certainly engage with you after on LinkedIn or any of the other platforms, because we're streaming not only on LinkedIn, but we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on YouTube. We're all over the place, in other words. Now, my promise to you is that I bring you the best people on this program that I can. And today hopefully I have accomplished that. John Rampton is a friend, but he's also a serial entrepreneur. He's named the #2 online influencer by Influence Magazine, #2 in the world. He blogs at Entrepreneur, Forbes, Inc., TechCrunch, Mashable, the HuffPost, and probably a bunch of others. And he's founder of calendar.com. John Rampton, the one and only, welcome to the program.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
You're welcome. It's a real pleasure to talk again. So we'll get to calendar in a little bit. That's an important part of what I wanted to talk about today, because I think that's time management and productivity and all that's really, really important. But you're a serial entrepreneur, and so I want to ask you about. I mean, you're on the board of Nature Box. You've had exits, a couple different exits from different companies. You're a partner in Wheelhouse Partners. You're founder of Do, now founder of Calendar. How do you keep it all together? How do you, manage that time, just sort of on a personal level, because you got a lot going on, and you got a little one, and
yep.
So you got a lot going on, man. How do you do it all?
Ooh, good question. How do I do it all? I don't know some days. A lot of it comes down to really good time management, at least I feel, as well as having the right team members surrounding me. I couldn't do this without my amazing team that's backing me, that's helping me run this, that's helping me run my life and become a better me. Okay. So when it comes down to it, it's all about team.
What is how did you pick that? I mean, I want to get into some of your tricks and some of your techniques and some of the things that you do to manage the business, because when you're running that fast and you're trying to do all that you're trying to do, you've got to have a process. There's got to be something that you do to pick #1 team members, right? Yep. And then I want to dive into that time management a little bit more too, because there've got to be some things that you do that we aren't doing that we could be, that would help us be more productive.
Yeah. So hiring team, let's jump into that one a little bit. Hiring team comes down to one, you got to have the right people, you got to attract the right people, and you need to know first what you want and what you need and what the desired outcome if you hire that person is. So a lot of people just say, oh, I want a marketing person, let's go hire that person. But they don't know what they actually want, need, and what their goals are. So I define those out pretty well, and I actually put the job description. If this job is successful over the next 6 and 12 months, this will happen. Okay. So that way you don't get random people applying that can't fulfill what you need and what your desired outcome is. Next, I like really promoting from within, hiring a little lower level. I like hiring friends of friends. Typically, if you're a friend and you're trying to get another friend to work there, you won't typically refer a friend that you don't think will work out.
Right.
You want, and then when 2 people are there and they're friends, they have that connection there, and they're going to work harder, and they're going to be a lot better of a fit. Now, if that's a bad employee, it will have the exact same effect on your business. But I tend to, hire slow, fire quick. but I mean, when I'm hiring, I have a person weed out that you're going to get 100 resumes, and I'm going to have one person on my team weed out all the negative resumes. Next, I personally or somebody on my C-level team is going to interview the people and weed it down to the ones that they like. And next, it becomes a team exercise, and the team interviews them, and the team decides as a whole who to hire. Now, some people do it the opposite. They have the team decide, right, and they go. Sometimes they just have individuals. I like having my actual team decide. That way, if it doesn't work out, it was a team decision instead of one person's decision. Just create very, very good team atmosphere and team growing exercise as well. But when I talk about team, I typically promote people from within. I like hiring people for specific reasons, and then when I promote them based on the work that they do. So if a person is doing amazing, you typically will promote them, and people will shine and become very, very good at other areas. Every single person in any one of my companies that's in a higher position typically started at a lower position and worked their way up to that position. I don't currently have one like C-level executive that didn't start at a lower level position. No one was hired there.
Wow. That gives you something actually to work for there, right? If you
Correct.
know what the culture is, and you know that if I come in and I really perform, then I can be the CEO, or I can be I can be an officer, or I can move up. That's a great incentive. That actually leads me to another question in terms of knowing what you want. As a CEO or a manager today, or a leader, or a company owner, let's say, how do you know what content? I mean, everybody says content. You got to do this platform. You got to do that platform. I mean, how in the world do you know? Like, because it's a time sink, right? You know as well as anybody. Like, you could completely spend all your time trying to make content, spend all your time trying to work on LinkedIn, work on Facebook, or how do you know what to focus on? Like, how do you figure that out?
Yeah, it's a lot like cooking. Literally, you have to try it to know if you like it or not. Some people are going to like Chinese. Some people are going to like Indian. Some people are going to like burgers. And you can't really know if you like it until you try it. So I recommend everybody spend about a month on each one of the platforms, dedicate a little bit of time to it, not hours and hours and hours. Dedicate 30 minutes to it every single day for 1 month. See if it's used, see if it drives results. I've had businesses, for example, I previously owned a company called Organize, right? Mm-hmm. We sold organizational materials and stuff. We did over $100 million online selling like container store type of things.
Okay.
I love Twitter, and I was a big Twitter fan, and I went into this business saying, hey, Twitter works so well. Guess what? Did nothing for the business. Didn't drive even, I think over the course of doing that full time, it drove a total of like $300. Really? It didn't do anything for our business. Versus Pinterest, literally every person that clicked from our Pinterest link was worth $1.32 in revenue. Every click was worth over $1. We ended up hiring 6 full-time people working on Pinterest. One account on Pinterest had 6 full-time employees. That's how valuable it was to us. None of the other networks did anything. Now, I have a company called Calendar now, and Pinterest doesn't do anything. We can put all day long, we could be the best Pinterest people in the entire world, and it would not actually drive any revenue to our business. Now, I classify success as revenue. That's my metric.
Right.
It's revenue and ultimately profit. A lot of people might just have it clicks, but ultimately if clicks don't lead to revenue, they're not going to amount to anything. So I classify everything in revenue terms. It didn't do anything for us. Instagram did nothing for us. Even Google Plus, when it was around, did nothing for us. But you know what did drive a lot for us and does drive a lot for us? Facebook. Every person that clicks on Facebook, 1 out of every 3 people that clicks on Facebook will convert to an actual account. Now, is that worth it to us? Absolutely. So you got to just really find out what works for you. dip your toes in the water. I like to dip my toes in the water for about a month. Some people say a week or two. I say a month to even 3 months. Then you get an actual, like it's not during the summer, or it's not, during a certain time period.
Right.
Do it for a couple months, find out if it works for you. After that, automate it. I personally like Buffer, but you can use Hootsuite, and I like automating the things that are not working.
Mm-hmm.
That way you're still capturing the little amounts of audience that you do have with those, and you're not missing out on that, but then you can focus around what works for you. Sometimes social media, all the platforms, even LinkedIn, which we're watching right now, if you're streaming other places, great, but LinkedIn for me has been a great resource. I get tens of thousands of customers every single month from LinkedIn. Other people and other businesses I have, I get zero. For my payments company, I get nothing off LinkedIn. Nothing. Literally zero. Also, there's content. Like I produce a lot of content. Now, I do this for multiple reasons. One, it's to help people out. Two, it's for, getting the word out there and, SEO and ranking my stuff online. That's going to work for some people. It's not going to work for others. Only you can decide. No, most of these things are a longer term approach. A lot of these pros come in and they're like, oh my word, you should be on LinkedIn. And others are Twitter. That might be because they have massive audiences. You're not quite there yet. Don't really compare your chapter 1 to my chapter 22.
Right.
Because you're on a different chapter of life and in the business. And I've been working on this for 20 chapters. And sometimes people in that thing that have millions and millions of followers can't really relate to a person that has 300.
Right. And some businesses don't need more than that, right? Because
no.
I mean, that's who their audience is.
Correct.
How do you go about, so let's say I'm a coach, right? I'm a business coach, small business coach.
Yep.
And I want to market my business. What kind of content should I be looking at? I mean, when you say get on the platform for a month, what should I be doing? Should I be reposting other people's content? Should I be liking and engaging and on people who are important to my business? I mean, what does that look like when I get on? Like I'm starting out, or I'm trying to build an audience.
You're starting out brand new.
Or I'm just trying to build an audience, right? I realize I need to get on the platforms and try them out. What do I do? Like, what do I start with?
Yeah. So first, I create a list of 10 people you look up to in the industry.
Okay.
So write those people down.
In your industry, right?
In your industry. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I mean, doesn't even necessarily need to be in your industry. All of them. You could have 1 or 2 that are outside. But what I want you to do is start emulating what they do. Start copying and cloning to you. So don't just go copy word for word what they're doing, but look at what they do and then put it out in your own voice, or start emulating what they do. Start mimicking / kind of cloning yourself to them. That's why I say I like other people in other niches too, because you can see what they're doing and it forces you to rewrite it, forces it to use your own words, your own thing, or put up photos or put up this or that. I like starting to emulate what those people are doing, because if it's successful for them and they're doing well, now it might not even be successful. They might just be doing it. So make sure you're, classify your success. But I like emulating them, finding what they're doing, copying it, cloning myself to be what they are, and seeing, because if it's working for them, theoretically, it should work on a smaller scale for me.
How do you know it's working? When you see, what do you look for to see that somebody's actually successfully using social media?
Yeah. I look a lot for engagement. So,
okay.
A person actually engaging in the content, commenting on it, a real fan. You can tell whether somebody's a real fan or not. A real fan isn't just going to like. A real fan's going to share, going to comment, going to be part of the community, like their pages, follow them on other social channels, comment on a blog post. They're actually engaged in the content. Those are things to look for.
Okay.
And those are the people, I mean, there's some Instagram people that will have 10,000 likes and 2 comments. That's not real.
Okay.
Versus there will be other people with 110 likes and 400 comments. That's a real person. Start emulating what that person does. Start kind of copying what they do and applying it to yourself and your business.
So if again, going back to the question from me, like if I'm an entrepreneur and I know I've got to start really getting serious about this, what do I look for and I know I need some help, right? I'm not a great photographer. I know it's got to be visual. I know I have to have a visual component, probably on any of the platforms, I would imagine. I've got to have I got to have some video, and I need to go outside to do that. What kind of person do I look for, to start out with?
I mean, here's the thing. So many people feel you have to have this amazing video camera or this. You have literally in your phone, an iPhone, an Android, something that you can start today. You don't need to have all the amazing tools that these things, you don't even know if it's going to work. So if you're doing this, just get started. Don't worry about it being perfect. Don't worry about the perfect shot. Don't worry about everything being the most amazing thing in the whole world. Literally just get started. Because you don't even know if this is going to work. So why go buy a $500 camera, or why spend the money and invest in this or that till you know it's actually going to be something that you want to invest in. Now, I have invested in a professional video camera. I have a really nice video camera, lighting, setup, microphones, but I know that works. I know that's driving revenue to my business to be able to pay for that.
Right.
Again, just use your iPhone, stream from that. You can do like LinkedIn Lives, literally from your phone. Some of the best people, I was actually on the phone with Goldie Chan yesterday. She's this little girl with green hair. She's a big LinkedIn influencer. Her videos get tens of millions of views. Guess what she uses? Just her phone. And she's made that into a very successful business for her. That's her being authentic, and she starts attracting that type of an audience. And now she has big brands that are trying to attract that same audience. So be you. Don't worry about having the most professional this, or worry about that tweet being perfect or that picture being perfect. Who cares if it's off by a little bit? Just post it. Keep in mind, social media, the length of a social media tweet is this. It's gone. So the length of a LinkedIn, it's gone. Facebook, just a little slower. Instagram, everything's gone in 2 seconds. So it doesn't matter if it's perfect. Just get out there, start today, literally do it right this second. Like, just, you guys are watching this, literally pull up your phone right now and record a 5-second video. Hey guys, I'm just wishing you a great day. Hey guys, you guys are doing great. Here's my advice for the day. Tip 1, tip 2, tip 3. It doesn't need to be something huge and amazing. It could be 5 seconds. It could be 2 seconds. It could be 10 seconds. Just share your thoughts, share with the world. And some of those make the best videos, the best engagement are just on those quick little things.
I think what you said, though, is the key, right? The authenticity, right?
Yeah.
Like, I know you and we produce things and we get into the cameras and the setups and the editing and all that stuff. But I think you're right? It's just that getting out of the car, walking into a client saying, hey, I'm really excited. I'm gonna pitch my business here in just a few minutes, and I'm psyching myself up for it. I mean, that just really authentic, real kind of that content, I think, is what really does well.
Agreed.
It shows who you are, right?
Yeah, it shows the real you. People engage a lot more with people than they do with brands. That's why you look at all these brands and they have evangelists. That's not just out of necessity. It's because people engage with people, and they're far more likely to engage with a person than they are with a brand. So become that brand. Be your brand.
Is that necessary today for leaders and CEOs to work on their personal brand at the same time of their business brand?
Choose any major corporation. So choose Facebook. Who's Facebook?
Yeah, Mark, right?
Who's Twitter?
Sergey.
Who's Apple?
Yeah.
Who's Oracle? Who's Tesla?
Right.
Who's Apple? People still think Steve Jobs. People might think Tim Cook. Who's Google? Who's this? Like, these people have these major brands behind them. And one, they're at that level where they can spend a lot of money on it. But like, I mean, I know some of these people, for example, like a Zuckerberg, or a this or that, and those people all have major teams just doing their brand.
Really?
Now, or you might be a one-man show, or have a couple people on a team and it's yourself, but literally most of these big companies, you think, and it's about them.
Mm-hmm. No, it makes sense. And so for the small guy, I guess they need to focus on it too, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, I would focus a lot on your personal brand. I put a lot of time and energy into my own brand and let that transfer over to my business or businesses.
Yeah, it seems like sometimes it's kind of one and the same, right? Because
it starts becoming that way.
I also look at it too as you don't know what's next, right?
Yeah, no.
And so you've got to spend some time thinking about building your brand equity and your name. And so, because what happens 2 years from now, you have an exit at calendar, right?
Yeah.
Something's next, right?
Correct.
And so
that personal brand will follow me wherever I go. Whatever company I'm at, it helps that. Right.
Makes sense. What let's get into calendar a little bit. It's and I want you wrote something a couple of weeks ago about mastering your time.
Yep.
Because we hadn't really talked about how you master your time yet. We were going to get into that, and I think we got off on something else.
No worries.
How do you master your time? I think you had 12 steps or something, I think it was.
Yeah, there were 12. I probably actually had it 50 and I condensed it down. They probably made me do that. Yeah, I mean, mastering your time is important to you guys. Any step that you repeat over and over, if you should be able to automate that or make it quicker in some way. So find ways to master your time. For example, one way I master my time is through email. We spend a lot of time on email, guys. I mean, this isn't even talking about calendar. I block out time for email every single day. I have it on my calendar, email. I have it blocked out typically about 30 to 45 minutes in the morning and 30 to 45 minutes at the end of the day. That way I can dedicate to emails that are very, very important. But one way I do this is email signatures. Okay. So I don't know if this is a new thing to me. I just started it about 6 months ago, but it's saving me literally probably like 20, 30 minutes a day, at least 10 minutes.
Do share.
Yeah. So I classify almost every single email in 5 to 10 different buckets. Bucket 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I create an email signature for every single one of these. And I just change my email signature for every single one. So when I do that email signature is the entire email.
Okay.
So I no longer have to type out a repetitive email. Hey, thanks for reaching out. It's been awesome. Great connecting. Or no, I unfortunately can't do that. You would be shocked how many times you type unsubscribe or hey, I'm not interested, or hey, not at this time. Or I actually like being very precise with my emails and saying not at this time. Be like, hey, this is not something I'm interested in. If you follow up, please do not follow up for at least 36 years.
Yeah.
Or something kind of funny. But I have literally an email signature for that, where I go over and I click the email signature.
Yeah.
And the email signature is unsubscribe.
It's the whole. Yeah.
And it has this really nice email. And then I have another one that's like, I get a lot of people, hey, will you invest in my company? And I have literally one that says, my classifications and stuff like that. I have another one for, hey, will you write about my company? Literally email signature. This saves me literally 10, 15 minutes a day, but 10, 15 minutes a day is literally the equivalent of days and days and days of productivity over the course of a year.
That's incredible.
Really get good with email signatures. Next is my calendar. I built calendar.com. So if you just go calendar.com, you better sign up. It's pretty awesome. It's free. I built that to better serve my time. There are certain things that I do in my life over and over and over. I'm on the road a lot, right? I'm always constantly on the road, and I don't want to take notes while I'm in a meeting because I don't want to miss something. So I built Calendar for pro subscribers. Sorry, you'll have to pay for that version. Will automatically call into every single one of my meetings, record the entire thing, transcribe the entire thing, put the whole transcription back into my calendar invite for easy access later. So now, instead of me having to take notes on every single one of my meetings, it will call in and record it and transcribe it. And I have that transcription there. I can just be like, oh, what happened in that meeting with Rhett the other day? Oh, and I go in there and I can see in 2 seconds what it's doing. Our goal over the course of the next 6 months is to start summarizing that. Here's the 3 key important things that happened during that meeting. That's just one of those things where it's like, I built this for me. I wanted to know how I was using my team. So we built calendar analytics, which you can go in and look at your analytics, how you're spending your time, who you're spending your time with, where it is. That helps me be a lot more productive with my life.
Now, like how you do your budget, right? You're how much you're spending on time going out to eat, how much you're spending on, right. That's amazing.
Yeah. Also, from a team perspective, know what's going on with your team, where they're spending their time, who the best people on your team, most productive sales reps, right, and least productive, where they're physically spending their time and where they're, which clients they're with, how much time they're spending on certain activities. Just helps you have a lot more insight into what you're doing. Also, one big problem that I've had with my calendar is knowing where I am and where I will be. We can tell you, and if a person's booking a meeting with you, no more 1 a.m. meetings when you're in London, or no more 5 a.m. meetings if you don't want them to be. I'm sick of those. Those should never happen again. Your calendar should know. Also, the email back and forth when you have 20 different people. So you and 5 buddies are trying to have lunch together. How many emails is that back and forth?
25, 30.
Yeah, 25, 30. And what happens? The day of the event, the day of your lunch, what happens? One of the guys ditches out, and then the whole thing falls apart, and then it's another 10 to 15 emails to figure out the next time. It's the most annoying. Never again. Now you can tag every single one of your buddies. It will only give you the times that work. If a person cancels, we'll automatically have all their schedules, book the next available time when everybody can meet. No emails. Literally an invite. That's all. That's why I built Calendar. It was for me. It was for the annoyances in my life. Some of the things that I hate, booking meetings. Now I just give people a link and they can book a meeting with my schedule, knowing where I am and where I will be. No more wondering.
Right. So if you're overseas, it's not going to schedule a time that's when you're sleeping or in transit or.
Correct.
So what is so I guess you're using AI and machine learning to make it smarter. So it adapt. Does it adapt to the user? So does it learn it learns your habits. It learns.
It's getting there. It's not perfect, but we are trying to learn a lot from our users.
Right.
Like, knowing our goal is also, like, in the future to be like, oh, we know that you don't have a car and we know that you Uber. So it'll automatically, when you're in a meeting and you have another meeting, it will say, we're ordering you an Uber right now. And that Uber's waiting outside and it knows where your next location is. And it just does all that for you and takes you straight to your next meeting.
It's like a personal assistant.
Oh yeah, for sure. Very personal assistant-y. It also knows when somebody's not going to show up for one of your meetings. So you can mark on there, hey, this person is a decision maker. And if they don't plan on attending, it automatically cancels and reschedules the meeting. Because it knows there's no reason to have a meeting if that person's not going to be there.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Getting into a lot of AI and becoming that personal assistant that you need.
Will it teach me how to use a calendar?
It won't.
Hey, Rhett, you need to get off your written calendar and get on online.
It will a little bit. So the goal of Calendar in the future is, since it's recording and transcribing every single one of your meetings, we're analyzing those meetings as well. We're telling you that, hey, Rhett, your average meeting is blocked out for an hour, but they on average go 44 minutes. The first 8 minutes and 46 seconds, now this is actually true data. The first 8 minutes and 46 seconds of every single phone call is spent talking about nothing. The last 14 minutes of every single phone call is spent talking about nothing. So Rhett, if you took your meetings down to 22 minutes, your meetings would be 90% more effective. Because the first 2 minutes of every single meeting, if you take away completely the human element, like, hey, how's the weather? How are you doing? How's the family? It doesn't need to be 8 minutes, but it does need to be around 2 minutes and 2 seconds. That's right now the number that it's turning out to be. And then about 20 minutes of actual meeting. If you take your meetings down to that, you'll be 90% more effective with your time. We are getting towards that. It's not perfect, but those are different things that we are telling people.
That's useful information to know. I mean, it really is. That helps you be better and be a better manager. That's incredible. It's going to be an incredible tool.
Yeah, thanks.
You said something earlier about blocking off your time. Is that, do you do that as versus a list or?
So I don't do a list. A lot of people have like the, Anydo, Todoist, those types of things. I just make mental notes, as well as when I'm looking at emails, I keep the emails that I need to respond to down at the bottom.
Okay.
That way I can respond to important things immediately and put everything else to my allotted time. And then
do you block off on your calendar? Do you block off? You said you blocked off like time for email.
I do. I block off
the time for different things.
I block off time 2 times a day for what I call my productivity hour.
Okay.
That's when I'm most productive, and that's when most of my team knows not to contact me. I'm not responding to Slack messages, Skype messages, WYSIWYG messages, Jambo. I'm just making names up by now, but I'm not responding to any of those messages. I am dedicated to being productive.
Okay. What you have a great rule. It's the 10-100 rule.
Yeah.
What is the 10-100 rule?
So I really like helping people out, and anybody watching this, reach out to me. You might want to capture my attention. You might want to say like, hey, I usually say, hey, dumbass, or something like that in the subject, because then it captures my attention. I know you actually listened this far into the broadcast, but I really like helping people. It's one of my mantras for success. So if you want success, you need to be helping out people. I always say I'm a connector. I love connecting people with other people. If I can connect you listening to this to anybody right now, let me know. Stalk me, get to know who I know and stuff like that. I'm happy to make introductions, especially if it makes sense. But I have a rule when helping people. 1 in every 10 people that you help will help you back. So you help 10 people out, 1 of them will help you back. Now, it might not be that second, but over the course, I usually find within about a month, they help you back. 1 in every 100 people that you help will turn into a financial relationship. You'll make some sort of compensation for that, or money in some ways. And 1 in every 1,000 people that you help out will turn into a multi-million-dollar relationship at some point in your life. Now, it might not be $1 million in your pocket, but it will be for your business, for their business, or for collectively your businesses. So 1 in every 10 people will help you back. 1 in every 100 turn into a financial relationship. 1 in every 1,000 multi-million-dollar relationship. So what does this mean for me as a business owner and you listening to this podcast? It means I need to help 3 people every single day. It's like my 3 rule. You help 3 people every single day, and that will, over the coming years, turn into many multi-million-dollar relationships that will help you grow your business, grow your life, and become the better you that you're meant to be.
What is when you say help people every day, what does that look like?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's sometimes even answering an email, just being like, hey, I need help. I get a lot of college students reaching out. Mm-hmm. It could be, somebody just came out with a book. That's me reading their book and giving them a review on Amazon. It could be me writing about them in a blog post, me retweeting a tweet, me connecting them with a friend or an individual or another business that could become a customer of theirs. It's really finding out what they need. Usually whenever I meet somebody, I try and ask, how can I help them? Before they know who I am, I usually, if I'm at a conference, I cover up my name badge. and I say, before you get to know me and anything that I do, tell me how I can help you. That gives an unbiased, like, what they truly need help with at that given time. And I try and conquer that and really help them out. So get people in their weakest to tell you what they need and how they can truly help you out. Might just be a hug. Like, that's helping somebody out. For some people, it's just a hug. Other people, it's just a words of encouragement. Other people, it might be connecting them with an individual. Other people, it might be money. Other people, it might be their charity. Other people, they might be just having a rough day. Other people, you know, I've had even people, like, their children needed to get into a certain, like, college. And I was like, oh, I actually know the dean over at that college. Let me make an intro. They ended up getting into Stanford because of it. Like, little things like that, you know, just that unbiased help and getting to know what people are truly struggling with or need help with.
So I know you've got a busy day, and I want to respect your time. How can people sign up? You're in beta testing right now with Calendar, right?
Yeah. Yep. Just go to calendar.com. Sign up. It's a free account. Try it out. Tell me what you think. I'm John@calendar.com. Email me, you know, problems or concerns or things that you want in addition, or how I can help you out.
So they can get on the system now, play around.
Play on, test it out. Tell me what you like, what you dislike, how we can make it better. I want to make this the best system out there.
Okay. You heard him. You've got it straight from the CEO. Email him, get on the system, give it a shot. I can tell you from experience, I've been using the platform. I'm trying to convert from paper to calendar. I'm getting there. But you know, please give that a shot. What's sort of a last piece of wisdom you would impart for the audience?
Last piece of wisdom: give up a little bit of yourself for others. So really help people out, you guys. You'll be surprised what happens when you truly help others out without trying to get something in return. I guarantee, like, 1 in 10 will help you back. 1 in every 100 will turn into a financial relationship, and 1 in every 1,000 will turn into a multi-million-dollar relationship. You guys just go help people, and don't go for that 1 in a million, 1 in 1,000 to make $1 million. Don't go for that, but go to help people out. Make this world a better place. It'll make you a better person as well.
Do it with a genuine heart and a genuine, in a genuine way, right?
Correct.
We've got, I was just seeing if we had any questions. We got a couple comments, but if you do have comments, guys, please send them to John and I here on LinkedIn or on any of the other platforms. We'll certainly respond. And thanks for spending your afternoon with us, or your lunchtime with us. And thanks for getting up early out on the West Coast.
No worries. Not too early. So thanks, guys. Again, leave your, if you have any comments, leave them in the comments below. I'll try and get to them and try and respond even after the video. Thanks for having me, guys.
And when I tell you what we'll do is we'll leave I'll put the calendar.com link on the post so that people can get straight to it from the post and get signed up on the platform.